Hi guys, yes I'm back, and yes I'm still wearing the same outfit from the previous video. I would like to just get a couple of these videos out of the way. In my previous video I did mention that I wanted to do a what was in my emergency wedding kit video and what I used and what I didn't use realistically. So that is what I'm going to be doing today, so stay tuned if you are interested in this video. I want to remind you guys to please subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell notification at the top to be reminded of when I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's get into it. Alright, so this is my emergency wedding kit, and it is a big bulky bag full of stuff. So I'm just going to start unpacking it. One of the reasons I want to get this video out of the way is so I can unpack it. So first thing I had in here was my jewelry for the wedding. So that included my necklace and my earrings that I ordered from Amazon. So they're not in here currently, but that is what I packed in my wedding bag. Next thing I had in here was my Apple charger for my MacBook. So then I also had my phone chargers in here. I had 2 extra phone chargers for my iPhone, and I had my MacBook charger because I had to bring my MacBook so I could set it up to the TV to do a slideshow of all of our photos. So what I did for that was I took a bunch of our photos, I put them into a folder on my MacBook, and then I imported that folder into PowerPoint, and I had like a slide, I think of 82 different photos just of us over the years that was on a slideshow on a big TV at our venue. So if your venue offers something like that, definitely take advantage of it, because that, along with the music that we had chosen, was just the perfect setting for before the ceremony. So definitely do that if your venue offers it, and don't forget to charge your MacBook and keep it charged while the slideshow is playing. Our wedding bands. So this is something obviously very important to bring to your wedding. So in here I had both of our wedding bands, and these were given to one of the maids of honor and the best man respectively. So they're the people that handed us our wedding bands. We didn't have a ring bearer, we didn't have a flower girl. We don't have a lot of young kids in our family, so that just wasn't something that was appropriate for our wedding. So we just gave the rings to each of our people respectively, and they handed them to us for the ring ceremony. Things are about to get real messy on this couch. Obviously I had a styling tool for your hair. This one has the little fans that cools your hair after it flat irons it, so it results in less damage, and you can either straighten or curl your hair with this. So I brought this. I didn't actually end up using it because the hair and makeup person brought her own styling tools. So, but I believe some of my bridesmaids ended up needing a hair styling tool while the hair and makeup person was doing other people's hair and makeup. Also, I believe my brother's girlfriend used somebody's hair styling tool. So this definitely is something to have, just if not for you, then for people in your bridal party or other guests that you have getting ready at the same time as you. So even though I personally didn't use this, other people did, so I'm glad that I brought it. Slippers. So I got these slippers off Amazon, and I think I only paid like $15 or $20 for these shoes. But they were so comfortable, and even though I was having a complete and total meltdown for like an hour and a half at my wedding, these were really comfortable and nice to wear with my robe. So I'm definitely going to keep wearing them. And they're very cute, so I painted my toenails just to have them peek out of the little slippers, and very nice to have as you're getting ready. So I also got this robe off of Amazon, and this is one that has sleeves as well. So as you can see, it's kind of like an off-white pearly satin color. It's got really long, ethereal looking sleeves, very comfy, very cozy. I believe it's one size fits all as well. Came with a really nice satin belt, ties on the inside as well. So it was really nice to have while I was getting ready, especially if you are having someone do your hair and makeup on site. You want to be wearing something that opens in the front so that you don't have to pull anything over your head and mess up your hair and makeup. I obviously didn't use this. It's a comb. This is something that was recommended to me to put in my emergency wedding kits. A lot of the videos and articles that I read said that you need to have a big comb to kind of brush out your curls so that your hair stayed curled while also separating your hair a little bit. So I didn't actually even open this. I feel like I'm glad that I brought it just in case other people in the wedding party needed something like this. but most of my bridesmaids had specific styling tools that they brought for themselves from home, and nobody actually ended up needing this. I'm glad that I had it just in case, but I didn't even open it. I also have hairspray. We did use this multiple times actually, and I never actually use hairspray in my daily life, but we used this multiple times, and let me tell you, not only did we use it for people's hair during the wedding, but also one of my maid of honor actually ended up using this on the inside of her shoes to keep her feet from sliding to the front of her heels. So it made her feet a little bit sticky, but it did ease a little bit of the discomfort that comes along with wearing heels that are kind of slippery in the soles. So your feet kind of slide towards the front and it ends up hurting your toes and your heels. So she just sprayed a little bit of this hairspray on the inside of her soles, and it allowed her heel to kind of stick better to the shoe, so it stopped her feet from sliding. So I didn't actually know that that was a trick you could do with hairspray until the day of my wedding, but I'm so glad that I brought just this little can of hairspray. Really simple, easy to carry around, has multiple uses, so I'm glad that I brought it. Feminine products. So if you have seen my video on switching from Depo to Liletta, I mentioned that I do not get a menstrual cycle because of those hormones, so I don't actually use any of these. I brought them just because I knew that some of my bridesmaids and people in the wedding party might need. Even if you yourself don't use feminine products like this, if you don't, if you're not someone who menstruates, you're not someone who gets a menstrual cycle, at least bring these for emergency, just in case someone in your bridal party needs one, or maybe one of your guests needs one of these. So I'm very glad that I brought these, even though I myself don't menstruate, because we use them a lot. So I'm glad that I brought them. I brought bug spray, and that's just because we were planning on having the ceremony outside as well as part of the reception. We did still end up having the ceremony outside as well as part of the reception. We took photos outside, but because it was so rainy and so chilly that day, we didn't actually end up needing this. And my dress actually covered the majority of my skin, so there weren't very many places to get bit by a bug. My sleeves were sheer, so probably there, but yeah, I didn't actually get bit by any mosquitoes or any bugs. I don't think any of us had any issues with that, surprisingly. But I'm glad that I had this just in case, and this is obviously something that I can just put back in my house and use later, so good to have around. Oh, and I brought 2 cans of it. So if you're someone like me who gets stains on everything, having some of these is a must-have. I actually, the day that I wore this sweater for the first time, I wore it for my bridal shower, and I got a strawberry. I dropped a strawberry like right here, and I had to go home and treat my sweater. I didn't have either one of these things with me, but it was recommended to me to have both of these things. So obviously a Tide to Go pen for those little stains that you get on your shirt. I'm glad I had it, even though I'm lucky I didn't have to use it, because I'm a very messy person. But also, these are Shout Wipe and Go Instant Stain Removers, and these were brought up as like they're little textured sponges, so you can use them on shoes, you can use them on clothes, you can use them on different materials. So I'm glad that I had these as well, but I'm lucky I didn't have to use them. Thank God, because that would just be the worst thing ever to get a stain like that on your dress, especially. So I also got a couple of different things to use for clothing. I got this Steamer Boost Superior Wrinkle Removal. So this is something that you use along with the steamer to kind of get out wrinkles. Just because of the sequence of events at my wedding and the fact that everything was so chaotic in the morning, we didn't actually end up steaming or ironing any of our things, which probably should have been done, especially with my train and my veil, but that actually was not done. Just because we were rushing around trying to get ready in the last few moments. We were already behind schedule with the catering and the hair and makeup and everything like that, so we didn't actually end up using this. And actually, I don't think anybody actually brought a steamer to my wedding. We didn't end up doing this. The tuxes were rented, so they were already prepared and ready to wear, so we didn't end up needing to use this. But this is something that my husband can use because he works a job where you're supposed to have very nice business clothes, so something I can still use. I also got the Downy Wrinkle Release, which at the moment I'm having a hard time finding in here, but I did have it and I did not end up using it. So, and that's one of the things I think is easier to use, because you don't have to have a steamer to use it. So I think that would have been the easiest thing for us to use, but we didn't actually end up using it just because everything was so rushed that morning. Another thing that I was going to use that I didn't end up using was the speaker. And this is a portable speaker that connects via Bluetooth to your phone. And I was going to use it to play music in the room while we were getting ready. But it was a sob fest for pretty much the entire morning, and I was running around, and basically people were directing me like, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with this? So I was running around being pulled in a million different directions, and we never actually got to sit down and listen to any music. So unfortunately, because I would have loved to just sit down with my girls and relax and listen to music and just have fun that morning, but that did not happen. So I also brought a tiny little lint remover. So a lint roller just in case, like we have animals obviously, so I want to make sure you don't have any hair on your clothes. And we didn't have to use this either, which is lucky in my opinion. Band-aids, sheer band-aids that any skin color can use, and waterproof because we were out in the rain. Q-tips and cotton pads just in case for anyone's makeup or any kind of cut or wound. Possibly you can need these for. I didn't use any of them. I've got a couple of medications in here as well. So I've got Tums, and Pepto Bismol, which I almost ended up using because after I got so upset for those few hours during the beginning of my wedding, I mostly felt like I was gonna throw up. So I almost used these, and this is just 2 tablets, so you just chew them, and I almost used these. Like I felt so sick at the point in time that we were getting ready that I just felt like I couldn't even take one of these. Like I wouldn't be able to chew them even to get them down. So yeah, I almost used these. And I got the mixed berry Tums as well. But yeah, definitely if you're someone who, when they get upset or nervous, tends to get nauseous, definitely have these. Or even for people in your wedding party, because you never know. I also had a little thing of Advil, just in case I tend to get a lot of headaches, so I had that in here. Also nail glue, just in case anybody broke a nail. Actually what we did was, 2 days before my wedding, on that Thursday, we went and got our nails done. So all of us went and got manicures and have this just in case somebody had something terrible happen or a broken nail, or maybe they're doing press-ons, want to have a little bit of extra glue. So we didn't end up using it, thankfully. Nobody broke any nails, but it's a good thing to keep with you. Now we're going to get into all of this personal hygiene things. I had lotion, just a little tiny bottle of lotion, just in case somebody had, dry hands. This is safe for body and face. So getting into the colder seasons, so just in case anybody needed some lotion. I didn't end up needing to use it, but just in case. I had a full manicure set. We also didn't have to end up using this because most of the people in my party went to the salon a couple days before. But again, just in case you have something chaotic happen that doesn't involve your caterer. I had very long nails for my wedding, so worst case scenario, one of them breaks off and you have to glue it back on, or you have to trim, or you've got tweezers in here as well. So, or maybe somebody who did come to get your nails done with you needs something like that. I also had these little Crest Scope No Water Needed toothbrushes. And again, I was so nauseous that I didn't think I would be able to brush my teeth. I just chewed gum. But if you're someone who wants to do this the right before, maybe you've had breakfast, you want to freshen up a little bit. They also have floss picks at the bottom, so this is a good little thing to have. There's only 2 in there. Another thing that I use all the time are these little lens wipes for your glasses. So I ended up using a lot of these because not only did I lend them out to other people who wore glasses for my ceremony, but I used them a lot because we got rain all over our glasses. We got rained on. My glasses got smudged throughout the night. They got makeup on them. So I used like 6 of these throughout the night. So this is something, if you or someone close to you in your wedding party wears glasses and needs, you should have a bunch of these. I also had these little Listerine Ready tabs, and I was going to use one of these before the wedding, but they kind of turned into mouthwash. and I thought that would make me a little bit more nauseous. So basically what it does, if you chew it like gum and it turns into mouthwash and you're just able to swallow it. So that's something you can use to freshen your breath without having to do a whole lot of mouthwash or brushing your teeth or anything like that, especially if you've already applied lipstick. I brought a couple of disposable razors and some shaving cream, just in case someone, you know, missed a spot on their legs or forgot to shave, or just to have something just to freshen up a little bit. None of us ended up needing it, but it was good to have. Obviously I had gum. I did use the gum. Bobby pins, hair ties, things like that. Each one of my bridesmaids in their gifts from me did receive a hair tie that is like this, kind of like a tilly tie. I have to use those because I'm allergic to latex and I can't have any like rubber, natural rubber hair ties, anything like that. So I got all of my bridesmaids and people in my bridal party little hair ties. So they were already supplied with hair ties, but I did make sure to bring a little bit extra. Somebody had mentioned baby powder, just in case dry things up. You know, if you're sweaty, your dress is really bulky, you want to make sure you stay dry. I didn't use it. I brought, oh, these were extra pins for my dress, these little tiny things that go on the cuff of your sleeve. I had extra of those. Tape measure while we were setting up, didn't have to use it, but good to have. Another thing while we were setting up I did use actually was this little yarn string, and just to tie up anything that needed to be tied up, or during the setup process for rehearsal, I did end up using that. I brought pens for the guest book and for the sticky notes as well. So anything that you want a sticky note to basically remind yourself to do the day of the wedding. So we went and we were able to do rehearsal. We set everything up. So it was nice to be able to delegate tasks. So if there was something that we needed to be reminded of to do the next day, we could stick a sticky note on it and make sure it got done first thing. Scissors. I used the scissors, obviously. I used them to cut tags off of all of my things that morning and to open anything I had trouble opening, so these were a must-have. I had spoons. So because of my food sensitivities and texture sensitivities, I have a hard time swallowing pills, and I was worried that I would get a headache or, you know, something like that before the wedding, and I didn't want to have a headache during my ceremony. So I brought food to take my pills with and spoons. Typically what I use to take pills is either macaroni and cheese or cottage cheese. So I brought spoons and I brought those things with me as well, just in case I had to take any medication the day of my wedding. I didn't have to, thank God. Tissues. I probably should have opened these, but I just ended up washing my face because I hadn't had anything done with my hair and makeup while I was crying. So, but yeah, everybody cried at my wedding. So I'm glad I had those. I also brought makeup removing wipes just in case someone didn't like their makeup, somebody messed up their makeup. Good to have. Alcohol wipes, just in case anything gets dirty, you need to sanitize anything. That's everything inside, and I'm gonna move to the outside pockets. So here's the wrinkle release. I said I had it, didn't know where it was. There it is. I brought chalk for two reasons. So first reason was for the chalkboards that I had for the menu and some of the displays. I ended up getting a chalk marker instead, so I didn't end up needing these, but this is just something I already had at home, so I just went ahead and packed them. Also, it's said that you can use white chalk on your wedding dress if you get something on like the satiny part of your wedding dress. Like, say you walk across the floor and you get like a smudge on it, like a black smudge or something, you can cover it up with chalk. So multi-purpose, that's why I brought it, but I didn't end up using those chalk sticks. I ended up using the chalk markers. All of my pens for the guest book. Make sure you bring tons of pens for your guest book and to write well wishes. We had well wish cards as well, so everybody used their pen. Safety pins, we didn't end up using those, but that's something that a lot of people end up needing on their wedding day. Command strips, I believe somebody else ended up using command strips, but we didn't even end up needing them for what we were doing. These are just the little tiny hooks that you use. Hair gel, I actually brought this for the groom's party and they used it. So I wanted to make sure I had everybody covered with the stuff in my wedding kit. So I ended up taking this and putting it in the groom's room and everybody used it. So as you can tell, including my husband, because my husband ran out of styling gel right before the wedding, and I was like, I got you covered. So they used that. More command strips and Gorilla Glue, just in case one of your props breaks, something that you've included in your wedding breaks, and you've got to have a quick and easy fix. This is one with a 2-use brush and nozzle, so you can either squeeze it on or you can paint on glue. So I didn't end up having to use that, but I'm glad that I had it. I believe that's everything in my wedding bag. Alrighty guys, so that is everything that was in my wedding bag for my emergency wedding kit. There are some things that I used, some things that I anticipated using and that I didn't end up using, and just some things that I'm really lucky that I had and didn't need to use. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will put the list of things that I put in my wedding kit in the description below if you would like to have a list, something to go off for your wedding. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave any commentary things in the comments below. Let me know, are these some things that you used for your wedding? Are there some things that you used for your wedding that I didn't have in my wedding kit? Are there some things you think I probably should have left out because I did definitely overpack? Let me know in the comments below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell notification to get notified of when I post new videos. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. A whole bunch of extra tissues. Oh. Band-aids, pads, miscellaneous things. More pads. Oh my god.